Good morning and happy Wednesday or Tuesday if you decided to do this one early. So this is like some of the previous days where I've split the videos so that it doesn't take too long and it allows you to then focus your attention. We're going to take the first video to discuss the order of operations, specifically around exponents and how they play into this, which we've already done, but I want to remind you. There are a couple of new elements in this one that we'll want to look out for. But before we do that, we should always fill out the order triangle. And a lot of you have been doing a great job of filling it out, but you're not paying attention to what they mean. And so then when it comes to the order, you're not following the order that you need to. So please pay close attention to this first part before we go into the example. The highest priority is represented by the letter P, and that stands for the word parentheses. I would recommend that on your paper, like some of you have, that you actually write it out, parentheses, and give an example. An example would be these symbols and something going on inside. If there's something going on, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, or multiple things going on, all of that has to happen before anything else in the expression. So parentheses give the highest to whatever's inside. Next is exponents. Exponents is the second highest priority of anything else. And so you'll notice that there's exponents here and there's exponents here. There's 11 with an exponent of 2, 3 with an exponent of 3. Those are the highest priority, which means the exponent has to be evaluated before anything else. So an example of, so here's the spelling, exponent. That's what this lesson is about. So exponent, and the example is if you have like 7 to the power of 3, that means that you would have 7 times 7 times 7. 3 sets. Oops, I made a mistake. 7 times 7 times 7. You have 3 sets of 7 multiplying together, not adding together. So 7 times 7, 49. 49 times 7, 343. That's what the evaluation of this particular exponent would be. All right, next is the second to the bottom level. 2 different operations share that same level, meaning that they have equal importance, multiplication and its inverse, division. It's very important that you see that if you're looking in an expression and you see multiplication and you also see division, that neither of them is more important, and so you have to read it like a book. Whatever comes first in the sentence is evaluated first. Whatever comes second and then third is evaluated second and then third. And then finally, the last thing that needs to be evaluated are any addition or subtraction pieces. So multiplication, division, I'm not going to write them out since these are words that you're very familiar with, and addition, subtraction. These are the different order of operations, the priority that needs to happen. All right, so now let's apply it. Parentheses. I see parentheses here and here. These parentheses don't tell me to do anything on the inside. It's just implied multiplication. So that won't come until the third level of priority. These parentheses do say focus on all that's going on inside first. So then within the parentheses, I don't see any exponents. I do see multiplication, and I also see addition. Since multiplication is more important than addition, I need to do this part of the parentheses first. So this is going to be 10 plus the 2. But on the other side, you don't want to write it as 10 plus 2 because sometimes that changes things. And then everything else must get copied. So divided by 4. And then these as well, 3 to the power of 3. Sorry. Minus 4 groups of 3, and then the plus sign. Now, an alternative you could do is you could rewrite this expression off to the side, work with it, and then bring it back as the final answer. But if you don't do that, then you need to make sure that you go each step of the way. All right, so then next is inside the parentheses still, we have addition. So this is 12/4 now. and then everything in the front, plus 4 groups of 3 taken away from 3 to the power of 3. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, we're done with parentheses, so exponents. There's an exponent here of 3 to the power of 3. Now what I would do is on the side, either here or here, evaluate 3 to the power of 3. 3 to the power of 3 means that you're going to be using this 3 and multiplying it by itself, and you should see this many of them when they multiply. So 3, 3, 3. You can use the dot or the x. I'll use the x since we don't have any letters, variables. Okay, so then I multiply them 2 at a time. So that's 9, not 6, multiplied by 3 still. So that's 27. So the evaluation of this exponent is 27. The next importance is multiplication or division. And since I see multiplication here, and I see a fraction here, which represents division, I'm going to do those two before the subtraction and the addition. So I might as well just do them now so that I don't have to take up too much space. So 4 groups of 3, 12. 12 divided by 4, 3. So these actually are kind of like inverses of each other in a way. All right, plus, minus. Okay, now addition and subtraction are equally important. So I do not want to just always add first or always subtract first. I want to go as if this is a book. So 27 minus 12 is first, then I add 3 to the result. So 27 minus 12, that's 15. And then plus 3, that's 18. So our final answer is 18, and you needed to show the expanded form right here, 3 times 3 times 3 for our exponent, and then you needed to show the steps along the way. So this is our answer, 18. Okay, now let's do the same thing over here. We've got a lot of stuff going on, but most of it is multiplication. We have an addition, we have an exponent, and we have parentheses telling us to focus, but for the most part, it's multiplication. So let's start with the parentheses. 11 times 4, 44. And that's going to multiply by 8. After the multiplication, there will be addition of whatever we get from this, 2 times 11 to the power of 2. All right, so next after parentheses is exponents. So this has to be the next thing we do. 11 to the power of 2 means we're going to rewrite 11 2 times, and we're going to multiply. Now this is one that you might have memorized, but if you don't have it memorized, I recommend that you actually multiply it out. So I'm going to use lattice method actually I could probably fit it in here. Okay, so I have 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, because 1 times 1 is 1, so it doesn't matter where it is. So in this first section, let's make that more obvious. We have just the 1. In the next one, we have 1, 0, 1, so that's 2. And the next one, we have 0, 1, 0, that's 1, and then 0. So 121. So then this is rewritten as 44 times 8 plus 2. Notice I did not multiply the 2 times 11 first. I had to do the exponent first. So 2 times 121. All right, so now I've got multi-digit numbers. I have a 3-digit number and a 2-digit number, so I have to show my multiplications on the side. You can't just do these in your head. I know that this one's pretty easy to do in your head, but it's still multiple digits, so we're going to show this all on the side. You have a little bit more space on your paper because you can just put it right next to this or right underneath, but I'm running out of space. We've got 44 multiplied by 8. That's one multiplication. And then 2 times 121, you can either write that as 121 plus 121 or 121 times 2. Either is fine as long as you're careful. So 2 times 1, 2. 2 times 2, 4. 2 times 1, 2. 242. And this one, 32. And then another 32, but plus the extra is 35. So 352 plus 242. Once again, I have multiple digit numbers, which means there might be regrouping. In this case, there's not, but I should always show my calculation. So then I'm going to add 352 plus 242. That's 495. 594. All calculations are required to make sure that you're showing your full thinking and to make sure that you didn't make any mistakes by just doing mental math. And we're done with the first video. I will join you for the second one.